Hello everyone and welcome to week 12 of English 120. I deeply apologize for last week. I forgot to hit a button on Canvas and for some reason, though it looked published to me, the content was not published to you. So as you've probably noticed, I've extended, in my email I told you about this, I've extended the deadline for your content from last week through this week. And I am limiting what we're doing this week, so you have plenty of time to work on it, okay? This week, I would like you to begin, as always, by watching this lecture. I'd like you to continue to read the Log of the Snark. We're on pages 176 to 209 this week, and I'd like you to take part in our online discussion. Please complete Module 12, and then take the quiz by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Please turn in your body paragraphs by this Sunday at 11:59 p.m. I highly recommend, given this extra time that you have, that you either stop by my office hours or visit the Writing Center on campus or use Smart Thinking. Contact information for Smart Thinking is found in our syllabus. You can also just visit the Writing Center on campus. It's in room 860. So this week we are traveling to Bora Bora and the Samoan Islands in the Log of the Snark. It's very exciting. These are some of the photographs that Charmian took while she was traveling in this region of the country. She was fascinated by everything that she came across during this journey and took so many photographs of everything she saw. You can see on this bigger map here where they are now. This is Bora Bora here. This is French Polynesia, which is where they were when we were reading the content from last week. They were in French Polynesia, okay? Now they're in Samoa. They're going to be heading in this direction towards the Solomon Islands next, and then ending their trip in Sydney. But we will get to that when we get to that. But it's important to kind of have an idea of where they are, okay? This week, what I would like you to do, it's a little different because I want you to spend extra time on your answers. What I'd like you to do is after you do the reading, pages 176 to 209, again, not a lot of reading, but I want you to read intensely. I want you to really understand what's going on. Please answer one of the groups of questions and use evidence from your book and outside sources to support your points. You are only going to answer one question that has not been answered. You may not answer a question that's already been answered by your classmates. Your own post is due this Friday at 11:59 p.m. and your responses to at least 3 of your peers' posts is due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. The first question asks how Charmian Kittredge London describes Bora Bora, the island of Bora Bora, upon their arrival. Where exactly is Bora Bora in relationship to Taha? That's the last island they were at. What do Jack and Charmian experience when they go on shore? And what is a Kanaka organ? Please make sure you find this exact reference in the text. It is in the text. 2. How is Jack's theory about why the female singers can't hit high notes an example of scientific racism? Can you identify a fallacy in his argument? I would like you to look up scientific racism and explain to the class exactly what that is and relate it to this section that takes place on Bora Bora. How does the kindness that Tehai and Bihara show Jack and Charmian during their visit to Bora Bora lead them to the realization, quote, it gives new lights upon cannibalism as practiced on white sea captains who requited love and courtesy like this with deception and abuses worse than death. So I'd like you to think about that quotation and explain it to us and use examples from the text and from outside sources to support it. Number 4, What is stone fishing, and why do Jack and Charmian want to see this ceremony? What is their experience like? You will need to explain to us what stone fishing is from an outside source, and also to show us what exactly happened when Jack and Charmian attended a stone fishing ceremony. What do they do aboard the Snark as they pass time traveling from Bora Bora to Samoa? And look up information about these things. How does Charmian describe the Samoan when they first encounter them? How do they travel from the Snark to shore? How does Charmian describe Viega, and why is she impressed with him? I'd like you to give us some information about Samoa during this time period as well. What is the kava drinking ceremony according to the book? How does Charmian describe the taste of the drink, and how is it made? How is tapa cloth made? Describe the tapu tradition. Who is Tuamanawa, and what questions does he ask Jack and Charmian? Why do you think he asked these questions? 9. Once they are back at sea heading towards Tudalar, where does Charmian dream of going next? How does Charmian feel aboard the Snark now that they are well into their trip? What is the one drawback she identifies? How long have they been at sea? What does Charmian think she has learned so far on their adventure? All right, guys, please make sure you answer in great detail, at least 500 words, and use lots of examples from the text. All right, our next module is Avoid Plagiarism. Please click through the content of Avoiding Plagiarism and read first the sections of Chapter 9 that are highlighted from the Bedford Researcher. Then watch the video on the 10 types of plagiarism from Turnitin.com. Then look at the Harvard Guide to Using Sources, How to Avoid Plagiarism. Then watch the video, How to Avoid Plagiarism Tips. There's somehow it included last week's thing too. So just watch the video, How to Avoid Plagiarism. And then at the end of the module, as is the case every week, please take the quiz and do the best that you can. If you do not get a perfect score, go back through the content and take it again. So, just a little reminder, you have until the end of this week to finish your body paragraphs and turn them in. Remember, you need at least 6 pages of content. You need at least 6 sources, academic sources. Please make sure what you turn in is complete. Next week, we will start working on conclusions, and the following week, we'll work on conclusions and flow. Then you'll have spring break before you turn in your first draft, the final draft, and we'll have conferences, either in person or on the phone, to go over your drafts. Then we'll have a week of self-review, peer review, before we turn in our final draft. Here's just a reminder of the body paragraph assignment. All right, that's it this week. Short but sweet. If you have questions, as always, please come see me in office hours or send me an email, and I will help you find an answer. Have a great week.